Hello, Windows Analysis. We explore the Windows universe, performance, hidden settings, history, hacks, and updates. If you love digging into your system and really understanding how it works, you're in the right place. Today we're going to unlock a hidden superpower that's already built right into Windows, regular expressions. You know that feeling, right? You spent hours renaming 100 photos one by one, or maybe you're scrolling through a massive log file, your eyes glazing over, just looking for one specific error message. It's a total pain. Well, there's an amazing way to solve that, and it's been hiding in Windows all along. You just need to know how to turn it on. I mean, just look at this. This slide really says it all. On the left, that's the old way, the manual, slow, boring slog where you're bound to make a mistake. And on the right, that's the RegEx way, a single, super smart command that does the exact same job in like a split second. That, my friends, is the magic of regular expressions, or as everyone calls it, RegEx. So here's what we've got on tap for this explainer. First, we're going to demystify what RegEx even is. Then we'll jump into the good stuff, your Windows Toolkit, hitting PowerShell, PowerRename, and even the new RegEx stuff in Excel. And finally, we'll cover a really important topic, the Dialect danger zone, so you know why a pattern might break in one app but not another. Let's do it. All right, so it all begins here with that constant nagging feeling that there has to be a smarter way to do this, a better way to handle all this tedious work. Well, this explainer, this is the answer you've been looking for. So what on earth is a regular expression? Come on, let's be honest, the name sounds kind of scary, right? Super technical, super complicated, but I promise you, the idea behind it is actually incredibly simple and really, really cool. Okay, think of it this way. Instead of searching for a specific word, like cat, you use RegEx to describe a pattern. You could tell it, hey, find me any three-letter word that starts with C and ends with T, and it would find cat, cut, cot. Or you could get way more complex, like find every single email address in this entire 100-page document. RegEx is just the language you use to write down those rules. And this right here, this is my favorite way to describe it. It just hits the nail on the head. RegEx is search and replace on steroids. It's probably the most powerful way to find and fiddle with text that you can possibly imagine. All right, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and see where you can actually use this superpower inside of Windows, because there's a right tool for every kind of job. First up, the big one, PowerShell. When you need to do serious, heavy-duty automation in Windows, this is where you go. It is the command center, and its RegEx engine is pretty much the gold standard for the whole Microsoft ecosystem. It's precise, it's powerful, it's a surgeon's scalpel. Now, in PowerShell, this slide shows the huge difference. You've probably used the old dash-like operator with wildcards like the star or question mark. That's kind of like fishing with a giant net. You'll catch stuff, sure, but it's not very precise. But the dash match operator? Whoa! That activates the full RegEx engine. It's not a net, it's a high-precision laser beam that lets you target exactly what you're looking for. And inside PowerShell, you've basically got this trio of power-ups. Match checks if text fits a pattern, and here's the cool part. Whatever it finds, it automatically saves into a special variable called $matches for you to use. Then there's replace, which does exactly what it sounds like, and split, which lets you chop up text using really complex rules, not just a simple comma or space. Okay, PowerShell is awesome, but let's be real. It can be a little much for a quick, everyday task. So what if you want something more visual, something more user-friendly? Well, that's where PowerRename comes in. It's part of the free Microsoft Power Toys, and it's the absolute perfect place to start playing with RegEx. It's so easy to use. You just select a bunch of files, right-click, hit PowerRename, and you get this nice little window with a search box or a place box and a live preview of your changes. Now, the secret sauce that makes it so powerful is one key concept: capture groups. Just think of them as little boxes. Every time you put parentheses in your search pattern, you're telling it, hey, create a box, and whatever text matches this part, stick it in the box. And here's where it all clicks. Let's look at this classic example. Say you have files named artist, title, year. Our search pattern has 3 sets of parentheses, right? So that creates 3 boxes. Box 1 grabs the artist, box 2 grabs the title, and box 3 grabs the year. Then, in the replace field, we just rearrange the boxes. We say we want the contents of box 3, which we call $3, then a dash, then the contents of box 2, or $2. And just like that, artist, title, year becomes year, title. It's brilliant. And now, seriously, hold on to your hats because this next one is a genuine revolution. If you've ever had to wrestle with text in Excel, you know the pain. You're building these crazy long formulas or worse, writing VBA macros. Well, forget all that. As of 2024, Excel has a native, built-in, world-class RegEx engine. I mean, this is a massive leap. We've gone from nightmare formulas to 3 simple, elegant functions. You've got regex test to check if data is valid, like if something is actually an email address. You've got regex extract to pull out just the piece of text you need, like a zip code from a messy address. And regex replace for cleaning up your data. This is a complete game changer for anyone who works with data in Excel. Okay, time for a quick but super important public service announcement, because this causes a lot of headaches. There isn't just one single universal regex. You have to think of it more like dialects of a language. Different apps use different regex engines, and a pattern that works perfectly in one place might totally fail somewhere else. Come on, raise your hand if this has happened to you. You find the perfect regex pattern online, you copy it, you paste it into Microsoft Word's Find and Replace, and nothing. It just doesn't work. Well, you're not going crazy, and you are definitely not alone. And the #1 culprit for all this confusion? Yep, Microsoft Word. See, here's the problem. Word has a feature it calls wildcards, and it looks a lot like regex, but it isn't. It's like a weird cousin that uses a different syntax. A standard regex uses a plus sign to mean one or more, but Word uses an @ symbol. That's why your patterns break. The good news is most modern tools like PowerShell and Excel use standard predictable engines. It's usually the older apps you gotta watch out for. And while we're busting myths, here's another big one. People often try to filter the Windows event viewer using regex. It seems like it should work, but it won't. The event viewer speaks a completely different language for filtering, called XPath. The real pro move here is to use PowerShell to export the logs, and then use regex to slice and dice the data. All right, let's bring it all home and put this all together. We've gone through the theory, the tools, and the warnings. Now it's time to unleash your new superpower. So let's recap the toolkit. PowerShell is your surgeon's scalpel for those deep, complex automation scripts. PowerRename is your trusty Swiss Army knife for all that daily file cleanup and organization. And now Excel is a full-blown data analysis lab. Look, regex might seem a little weird at first, but once you start using it, I promise it'll completely change how you work with your computer. So I'll leave you with this question. After everything we've talked about, what's that one manual, tedious, repetitive task you're thinking about right now? What are you going to automate first with this new superpower? And that's it for today's analysis. If you liked it, subscribe, leave a like and a comment, enjoy tinkering, and see you in the next Windows analysis video.